As failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris considers another run in 2028, she's cooking up ways to change how the country counts its votes.
I know this is going to be controversial, coming from me in particular. We need to revisit the Electoral College. We need to revisit the point of expanding the court to 13 justices like we have 13 district courts.
Let's bring in Fox News contributor and constitutional law attorney Jonathan Turley. Jonathan, welcome to you. How does that sit with you?
Thank you, Sandra. Well, this is part of what we're seeing among establishment candidates as they try to pander to the mob. Harris is really in the forefront in throwing institutions out the window to the mob. There's not a lot left in the House. I mean, she's going to throw the Electoral College out, the Supreme Court, the mob wants, and the DSA to get rid of the Senate and the presidency. She hasn't arrived there yet. But it's part of a delusion that establishment candidates have that if they can give up these institutions, then the mob will bring them back into power. And that's not how history works. You know, I just finished the book Rage in the Republic, where I talk about how we've heard these voices before. You know, these were the very suggestions that were made, or proposals, that the framers rejected. Where they were accepted at that time was in France. There were two revolutions, ours and the French Revolution. Ours became the world's most successful democracy. Theirs became known as the terror. These are the same voices asking for unicameralism and trying to make the courts more dependent on popular will. This is the battle that we're facing on the 250th anniversary of our republic.
Yeah, the Jacobins may rise again. We'll see. Jonathan, what's really ironic about Kamala Harris saying we need to revisit the Electoral College. We'll put it up on the screen here because not only did she lose the Electoral College, but she lost the popular vote. So even if you'd reformed the Electoral College, she wouldn't have become president. But you know who else still has a problem with the Electoral College? Hillary Clinton. This is from the new Netflix series called The American Experiment. Listen to this.
Well, I personally think the Electoral College is an abomination for obvious reasons.
All right, so she's got a bone to pick with because she did win the popular vote, but she lost the Electoral College. But again, for Harris, she lost them both. So, I mean, why even posit a change?
Well, Harris keeps on referring to different problems that led to her defeat, except herself. People did not want her to be president of the United States. The Electoral College is designed to force different constituencies to come into play. It's part of that moderating influence that we have in various parts of the Constitution. This is ideally meant to get people to take smaller states seriously, but also to have voices in those smaller states to be heard to the same extent. What Harris wants is to get rid of that so that basically California dictates policy, because you have this huge population in California that will swamp those smaller states. That's exactly what the framers didn't want. But really at base here is a desperate effort to ride this rage wave, to try to use this mob. And people like Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries believe that somehow they will be spared. That's not how it works historically. And you've already seen it. You know, when they elected socialists in New York, what were they chanting? You're next. When Hakeem Jeffries came up on the television screen. That's how revolutions work. So feeding that is not going to bring you to power. It's just going to bring down the system.
Well, when the Pew poll reveals about the Electoral College that more and more Americans continue to favor moving away from it, maybe that's why it's becoming so popular with some of these Democrats, including Pete Buttigieg, who was recently on this program. But he said this to Politico this morning.
And you scrap the Electoral College?
Totally. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is one where just as a matter of basic, fundamental fairness, I don't see how you get to the idea that any one voter should have a greater vote than another voter.
Totally, Jonathan.
Yeah, and remember, Buttigieg also recently threw the Supreme Court over the side and said, yeah, sure, let's pack it. That's part of this pandering that's going on. The Electoral College has an effect on making presidential elections more decentralized. Otherwise, they're just going to go between LA and New York, and that's going to decide the issue. It's sort of like that famous map in the New Yorker that shows the view of the country from the perspective of a New Yorker, and there's New York, and then there's a vast wasteland, and then there is San Francisco. That's what's going to happen politically, because there's going to be two polars that decide elections, and that's going to be New York and California.
Buttigieg says it's a matter of fairness to get rid of the Electoral College and go with the popular vote. But as you pointed out, the Electoral College was established to facilitate fairness across all of the smaller states. So, but an indication of where we may be headed come November. We'll see. Jonathan Turley for us.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.